Hello, WrestleRanters, and welcome to WrestleRant edition number 32. I'm your host, Bleacher Report feature columnist, level 2, Graham Jason Matthews, here today to discuss a handful of topics from Monday Night Raw to answering some good old-fashioned fan questions, as well as addressing some numerous controversial topics concerning myself and a lot of things that happened last week after I published last week's WrestleRant video, so I will get to that at the end of my conclusion, at the conclusion of this video, so please stay tuned for not a huge announcement, but some things I'd like to discuss, just to get out there and just to, not rant about, but some things that definitely need to be addressed. So, to talk about Raw for a minute here, we had to kick off the show with Triple H and The Undertaker. Having Triple H kick off the show with a 20-minute promo is nothing out of the ordinary, but this time I did indeed enjoy it. Personally, I was not a huge fan of The Undertaker and Triple H feud going into WrestleMania 28. But this time around, I think it is a pretty good story. I really like the direction that they are going in with the vengeance from Undertaker as well as Triple H. And having Triple H address that from last week was definitely a plus. And the video packages that they definitely put together were definitely well done. Building towards the match at WrestleMania 28. So it does feel a little more fresh than it did last year, so I am kind of looking forward to this match, despite my initial reactions of this match being a complete disaster, but that remains to be seen. But definitely a good start to the show, and definitely set the pace for the rest of the show with Triple H and Undertaker, with definitely that out of the way, and setting the tone for the rest of the show, I should say. So we also had Big Show versus Daniel Bryan on the show. I think that was a pretty good match. These guys work very well together. They had that same typical match that they usually do, but I have nothing to complain about. I did like the finish with Big Show almost trampling AJ again into the corner of the match. Into the corner of the ring during the match, having Big Show win the match via countout. Now this definitely saves the match for another day. They have Daniel Bryan, don't look as weak. So I'm definitely intrigued and interested in this angle. Daniel Bryan is definitely a hot heel at the moment. I just a couple minutes ago, published an article on Daniel Bryan being a hot heel on Friday Night SmackDown. I thoroughly believe that he definitely does have the potential to be something great on Friday nights. And if they continue to pursue him as this type of gimmick, with him being this cocky bastard, then he definitely does have a feature on SmackDown as World Heavyweight Champion if he doesn't drop it at Elimination Chamber. So that was definitely a good match. We had Sheamus versus David Otunga, that squash match. David Otunga did get some offense in, so I was kind of happy about that. But, this did seem a little bit random. Nothing too out of the ordinary. We've seen Sheamus dominate enhancement talent for months now. So if he's going to be headlining WrestleMania 28, he definitely needs to get in some high-profile matchups if his title match at WrestleMania 28 is going to mean anything whatsoever. So we also had a tag team match with Randy Orton and the Great Khali defeating the team of Wade Barrett and Cody Rhodes. I didn't like this match, personally, because obviously the Great Khali was involved, and I am not the biggest Great Khali fan. Now, I do try to find some positive aspects to every wrestling match, angle, storyline, whatever, but I don't know about the Great Khali. I mean, someone asked me a question about what do I think about the Chamber participants, and Khali being one of them. I'll definitely get back to that in a couple minutes after the Raw review, but I don't know. I just didn't like Khali in this match, especially burying two potential future World Heavyweight Champions in Cody Rhodes and Wade Barrett, who definitely have a chance at Elimination Chamber, but their chances just seem squashed now after they were just dominated by the Great Khali. So I'm not too sure what to say about that, but at least they did have Randy Orton look strong after delivering an RKO to Khali after the match. So we also had that quick 1 second 8 Divas tag team match that they had for, just under a minute, the typical match that they usually have. Nothing to complain about, the typical match that we got at the Royal Rumble, just a lot shorter. And I'm just waiting for the return of Karma as well, eventually to set up the WrestleMania match of Beth Phoenix versus Karma for the Divas Championship at WrestleMania 28. So I'm definitely highly anticipating that. What else do we have in the show? We had CM Punk and Chris Jericho on the show also, with CM Punk coming out to address Chris Jericho after Chris Jericho said that Punk was a Jericho wannabe. Punk came out, said absolutely nothing, dropped his microphone in the symbolization that it is a pipe bomb, as he's gone on to say in the past, and then just walked off. I personally love this promo. This was excellent. I mean, some people are saying that Jericho exposed a little too much in this promo, but, personally, being the mark that I am, I loved it. I loved every second of it. I'm a Jerichoholic. I loved every single word that Jericho had to say regarding CM Punk. And I mean, they could have saved this until after Elimination Chamber. That's when they're eventually going to have the Punk and Jericho mic battle. Something that I've been really looking forward to for a very long time now. So they finally addressed, Jericho addressing his imposters, so to speak. So I definitely like this segment, and hopefully they can keep this fresh going to WrestleMania 28 in 2 months. What else do we have? We had the six-pack challenge as well in the main event. I mean, it was a little chaotic, but I did like it. It didn't give away too much of the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. I liked everyone in this match. They had Jericho go over strong as a sixth entrant in the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view come the event in a couple weeks. So I definitely like that aspect of it. And they're going to have Jericho enter in last, possibly win the championship. I'll address that in a couple minutes. Someone asked me that as a question. But I did like this match and the ending. Of course, foreshadowing a feud between CM Punk and Jericho come WrestleMania 28. And as well, R-Truth did suffer he didn't suffer an injury, but he was pretty beaten up during the match after he flipped over the top rope onto The Miz, but The Miz failed to catch him. So R-Truth in an update is okay. He didn't suffer any major injuries. He's pretty okay. He's just a little beaten up, just a little, just roughed up a little bit. So he's okay, and I am glad to say that he is fine, and he will definitely be in the Elimination Chamber match in a couple weeks. At the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. So I'm glad to say that he is okay. But to close the show, we had Kane and Eve conclude the show after almost as it went off air, as Kane confronted Eve regarding Zack Ryder and John Cena rising above the hate. Now, it is a fun fact and personally fun to note that John Cena has not appeared on an episode of Raw since January 3rd, I want to say, of 2011. And now he wasn't even on the show. I mean, they did show him in a pre-taped segment featuring Carl Edwards, but that wasn't really anything major, and that wasn't live, obviously. So I did find that kind of interesting that they didn't have John Cena on the show. They're advertising that as a Cena versus Kane as an ambulance match at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. And I'm not looking too much forward to that, seeing how the ambulance match is a little too overbooked. I don't like that. That's a stupid stipulation made, but that's just me. But I just don't like this feud. I just want it to end as quickly as possible. It is an okay feud, though. Don't get me wrong. I was enjoying it. I am thoroughly enjoying it, but I just kind of want it to end so Cena and Rock finally goes to fruition in a couple weeks after the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. So that's it for Raw. I didn't think it was a great episode. It wasn't a horrible episode. I think it was just kind of middle of the road. Just kind of a filler episode before the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Hopefully they can pick it up before the event next Monday night, where they're going to have their last show before the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view featuring Shawn Michaels. So I'm definitely looking forward to that, as well as their huge build for the event, as they did provide this past week on Monday Night Raw. So that does it for the Raw review. Now on time for the fan questions. I did have 2 people send me in questions this week with a total of 5 questions. So I'll start with, I'm sorry, if I botch this again, I do sincerely apologize. I got it down as @Khalid Al-Zarak. I do apologize if I completely botch it, as I aforementioned. So please correct me in a further tweet, just to prevent me from further embarrassment. So you asked me, how do you like the Raw versus SmackDown participants, the Chamber participants, not Raw versus SmackDown, Raw SmackDown Chamber participants? Personally, I do like them. The Raw Chamber match, it does look a little less star jam-packed. They don't have a lot of stars in this one, seeing how John Cena isn't in it. Obviously, Kane isn't in it. So and Alberto Del Rio isn't in it, obviously, seeing that he's still injured. So I do like the matchup. They really do have a lot of good competitors in this matchup. So hopefully they can keep it strong in the build going into the event next Sunday night. So hopefully that ends up being an excellent match, as I am anticipating. And as far as the SmackDown Elimination Chamber pay-per-view goes, the SmackDown Chamber match goes for the World Heavyweight Championship. I like every single participant except the Great Khali. Now, the Great Khali does not do anything for me whatsoever. I just do not like him as a former World Heavyweight Champion, but I guess that's why they put him in. I guess it's better than Hunico or Justin Gabriel or anyone else that they could have possibly put in, seeing that Ted DiBiase is indeed still injured. But hopefully they replace him with Christian in the last second, because I do want to see Christian in the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. I don't think he's going to win the World Heavyweight Championship, but he did return last year at the event, so I hope to see history repeat itself and have him come back this year as well. So hopefully those are two really good matchups as they were last year. That looks to be really, really exciting. You also asked me, now that Jericho is the 6th entrant in the Elimination Chamber, in the Raw Elimination Chamber, is it now obvious that he's going to win the match? Now, I think so. I don't think they're going to have him pinned and look weak going into WrestleMania 28, because how else is he going to get a WWE Championship match? Now, I do like the aspect of him coming in last, because it gives him the opportunity to outshine all the other 5 competitors without actually beating them. He can just pull an edge and just be an ultimate opportunist and then just pin CM Punk and win the WWE Championship within seconds. So I do like that aspect of it, and hopefully they do give Jericho the championship, because I don't see Punk retaining past Elimination Chamber. Tongue twister. Pay-per-view, seeing how Punk is facing against the odds here, and he's held the championship for the past 3 months now. So anything's possible, but I do hope to see him retain the belt, but Jericho's obviously more than likely going to win. Now for my second user that sent me questions, at Donnie Dalton, Donnie_Dalton. I'm sorry if I botched your name again. I do apologize for that, so just tweet me if I did botch that, so I prevent myself from further embarrassment, as I said before. So you asked, do you think the Cena Rock match at WrestleMania will live up to all the promotion and hype that it's gotten over the past few months? I want to think so. I do want to think so. I'm really looking forward to this as many as all the other superstars, and not superstars, the WWE Universe. This looks like to be one of the best matches in WrestleMania history. Maybe not match-wise, but definitely build-up and promotion and all that good stuff. As far as the match itself goes, it looks to be an okay match. These guys weren't the best in the ring, but their charisma definitely makes up for it. So it does look like to be an electric match of epic proportions. So you also asked me, as we can see, The Undertaker will face Triple H at WrestleMania. Do you think it's the right choice? And you also asked me, if you do not think it's him, who do you think he should face instead? Now, a couple of months ago, I posted an article on Bleacher Report saying that he should face Sheamus. Now that Sheamus is a Royal Rumble winner, he obviously won't face Undertaker WrestleMania for the streak. Now, I do think that Triple H is an awesome choice, because there's really no one else that can take it. There's really no other young guys that can go as the 20th victim of Undertaker's streak. And they definitely have the history from last year and the aftermath from Undertaker being beat up from last year and Triple H wanting his vengeance. So I do like this rivalry, and it's better than anyone else that they could have used for his WrestleMania match. So that about does it for all the fan questions. And just to address something that did happen last week after last week's episode of WrestleRant, someone, I'm not going to feature by name, commented on my video and verbally abused me and said some things to some Twitter users that was completely unnecessary. So as far as my future WrestleRants go, all comments and likes will be disabled, because that was getting annoying to the point where he went on Saturday, 2 days later, went on to post further comments from accounts that he created for some reason, and went on to lie that Jim Ross tweeted my channel or some shit like that, just to say that, I don't know, he wanted to trash my channel, so I had like 7 dislikes on this video, all from the same guy, so I thought that was pathetic. So all that shit is disabled. As far as the future of WrestleRant goes, before all this shit went down, I was thinking about stopping WrestleRant altogether, because obviously my views are not where I wanted them to be. But due to all the controversy, my views did go up last week, so I was kind of happy about that. But the WrestleRant videos just aren't getting as many views as I thought, and the Spoilers podcast I do with Ben Gartland is just kind of making up for that, because I do my thoughts on there as well. So WrestleRant won't be featured as prominently every week as it usually is as of now, but I'm not too sure. There definitely won't be an episode next week. I am taking a break from social networking for the foreseeable future. That is what the Final Friday stuff is all about, so do not be concerned by any means necessary. It is all good. So if you don't see me tweeting in the next couple of days, that is definitely normal. Do not be concerned or anything like that. I'm completely fine. I'm just taking a break from Twitter just to relieve all this stress. And as well, by the way, I should mention that I was effectively removed from enigmatic generation of wrestling EGW, just for apparently no reason, just for tweeting my life, I guess. So I will get back to you on that. You guys can follow me on Twitter at save_us_GSM. Visit my website, nextwrestling.weebly.com, and visit my Spoilers podcast at blogtalkradio.com/spoilerspodcast. So thank you for joining me. I hope you guys have an awesome week. I will not be around for the foreseeable future. I'm not sure when I will be back. But if you'd like to tweet at me any questions or any concerns, just tweet at me, as I said before. So hopefully you guys have an awesome week and have an awesome Valentine's Day. And this is GSM signing out. Until next time, guys.